Outside, the air was like punching me. I'm like, man, whew. That's how they are acting. It's different. I have to be very careful because it's like right now I feel like it's cold with a little wind. I've been here where the wind was smacking me. Like I had to turn around.
Like your nerves is dying.
It's like it was so hard that I had to turn around and walk backwards for like 2 blocks.
How was King Vader? How was King Vader born? Like, how did you like get to acting, and when did you realize this was your career choice and your, path in life, basically?
Thank you again. Really great question. I feel like I don't know. Like I didn't have all this like planned out. It kind of naturally molded itself. It started from not knowing what I wanted to do, and meeting someone who had an idea of what they wanted to do, and they kind of introduced me to like what they loved, and through them showing me what they loved, I found out what I loved, which was like filming and editing and directing and stuff like that. After that, I hopped on Vine. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vine. You know what I'm saying? The 6 seconds of fame. He was out there, and it was cool. It was a good time. I hopped on Vine because I used to have a web series with my younger brother. Shout out to I Am Dyson's, and we had a web series, and eventually, like I'm not gonna say like all, but like 50% of them, we end up splitting apart, right? So after we split apart, I was kind of like trying to, in a sense, prove myself. Like I can be funny. I can make my own videos. So I went over to Vine, and that's kind of how I found like I became more independent. Like this is like where I can be me. So shout out to King Batch, because when I was on the app, all I saw on the feed was like King Batch. He was just making new videos. He was dominating. He was doing this thing, and I saw like he really moved like how a king moves. So I'm like, wow, like if he could be King Batch, then I could be King Vader, and that's kind of where the story started. And from there, it was just about trying to find out who I am, the things I like, and how I can make a path for myself in this world. And here we are, Anime NYC, about to premiere something in a room, answering questions, cameras everywhere, mics everywhere. I've got to direct for Netflix. I have a mini series for them. I worked at Comedy Central. The list, I worked with Google, I've worked with Domino's, the list goes on, and it's a blessing, because like all this started from just like falling in love with something, like my dream, and all these blessings have came from it. So yeah, that's how it all started. I feel like life has its adversities. It's like I said, it's definitely a blessed life to be in, and I don't know. It's like I never thought I'd be able to like go to conventions and like meet supporters and like sign stuff. Like I'm signing skateboards and shirts and Funko Pops. I'm like, well, this is crazy. Like what's happening? People have made like action figures of me. I'm getting drawn in like comics, and all this had started because I just decided to do something different. And I guess it always makes me think about back in high school, when I was doing the Vines, like I'd have people like walk up to me and literally to my face, your videos suck. And I'm just like, wow. And the thing is like I could have took what they said and like just stopped because like someone didn't like my videos. But now it's like we live in a day where that can happen all the time, like 40, 30, like people can just hit you up and you're like, oh, I don't like this. But it's like, there's always that massive group of people who actually support and like love what you do, and what you do like actually impacts them in different ways. And I feel like that impact is something that I never would have thought I would have had from just like making 6-second videos in my, starting from making 6-second videos on my phone to now, directing stuff for Netflix. And I just recently dropped a feature-length film. It was a horror film on my YouTube, and it's called Don't Disrespect Halloween. And I never even thought I'd touch the horror genre, but here we are today. So I feel like this is a lifestyle that just is kind of unpredictable, and I'm just kind of I'm winging it, if you will, and just walking along the thin ice. I'm kind of running at this point, and it's not cracking. So I'm like, hey, we out here. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it started with all of us. The people who supported it from the beginning when it wasn't cool, when it wasn't mainstream, when it was something that you just watched at your house alone, maybe with a couple friends that you trusted, and you'd talk about it very quietly at the lunchroom tables. But now these are the first conversations you hear at all schools, at all places, TV, it's everywhere now. And yeah, I think it was just like the people who understood anime for what it was, and versus the people who just saw it as like, oh, those are just cartoons with like crazy stuff going on, but it's like, nah, it's deeper than that. There's like deep lessons in these animes that like reflect real life, and like if taken care of correctly, you can mold these lessons into your own life, and it could do a lot for you. And now I feel like people are starting to see that impact, and companies and all that stuff are starting to see that too. So anime becoming mainstream was just like something that was going to happen no matter what. But one thing that has shocked me, I'm gonna be honest, is seeing anime being merged into sports. That's something I never thought it would be. NFL, like basketball, like ads, or like they made like an AOT trailer anime drawn for like what's happening in the season of basketball. I'm like, what is happening, But it's really cool to know like that's the impact that it's even pushed over to sports, which I think would be on the opposite side of the table from anime. But here we are shaking hands. So yeah. The advice I would tell them is like, when it comes to video creation and just chasing your dreams in general, you have to do it for you first off. And what I mean by that is like in the beginning, I didn't like have like a huge support group, like even the people closest to me like didn't have the biggest support, and that's like your family, your friends, and it's like I realized through that and through like watching Naruto is that self-belief is extremely important, especially in the beginning. You truly have to believe in yourself before anyone else can, like you have to be the number one fan. And through that, it allowed me to not really take in like so much from the outside of like the negativity of like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Because the thing is like, if I would have listened to any of those people, like I wouldn't be here in front of you to even answer this question, So like, my biggest advice for those people is to realize that words are powerful. So even when it comes to your dreams, like protect those, because it's like it's your dream, so say it out loud, but also say to the right people, because sometimes dreams are too big sometimes for certain people to wrap their minds around, and that's why I also say to protect it. But the last thing I'll tell them is something I learned from listening to Will Smith. He says that those who say they can and those who say they can't are both usually right. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes back into how powerful words are. It's like, if you think you can do something, it's really up to you. And it's really up to you to make it happen. But the first step is saying it. And a long time ago, like, I said the certain stuff that I'd be doing today. And, I don't know, it's shocking to like be here in the moment. But like, I guess I am glad that like to know like, through all the odds, like, your boy was right. So yeah, that's a really great question, by the way. There's a lot of Naruto moments, but like the one that I always look back to, like, because everyone isn't always their best self, right? Like, you have your great days, and then you have days where you just don't feel it, right? Certain days like that, there's this one specific scene I watch. It's from the first Naruto movie. I think it's The Land of the Snow. And basically, it's this scene where Naruto is carrying the princess on his back. And they're walking in this tunnel that's on this train track. And, they're just having like this real heart-to-heart conversation. And then out of nowhere, legit out of nowhere, a train in this tunnel is now approaching them, from behind. So now it's like, we have to run. Naruto's already carrying someone on his back, but he still has the power to like sprint forward, right? So I think like already the sets up of like all the adversity that's already against his character. Like he's carrying someone. There's a train. We got like a mile left of running. We have to make it. But at the same time, she's on his back telling him like, you can't do this. What you're trying to do is impossible. Just give up. This man Naruto, while carrying her and running, he's like, I'm not giving up. He says, I'd rather die before I'm gonna give up. And then out of nowhere, he literally just says, he keeps saying, come on, come on, come on, come on. And he's like digging really deep down inside himself to find this willpower to keep running. And he legit begins to run faster and faster and faster and faster. And long story short, he makes it out the tunnel, hits the ground, and this main character, Angie, of course, he literally just starts laughing. So it's like, all that says to me is like, he's faced against like some of the biggest adversities, like, set right now, at least, right? He's being told by the world, like, you cannot do this. What you're trying to do is impossible. And he could listen. He can literally submit. He could stop running and just accept fate. But instead, he's like, no, I decide like my own fate. I decide my own path. And I'm deciding that I'd rather die than give up. So that's not going to happen. And he legit pushes past himself in a way. And because I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to like chasing our dreams or doing something that feels impossible, is like we are in our own way. And Naruto saw that. He was in his own way and said, no, move out the way, I'm gonna handle this. And then after he did it, all he can do is sit there and laugh. And in my mind, I look at that scene and I'm like, he's just laughing like, I really can't believe I did it, but I'm glad that I did. And he's just gonna move on and do something else amazing next week. But like, I love that scene so much. And like every once in a while in my story, I always repost it. So yeah, thank you for asking. So yeah, I mean, pressure is a great word for it, because I mean, for me, I truly care about like the content that I am making, each shot, each film, like my goal is always to make my next video my best video. And it's always a thing for me to like even reevaluate like my last couple of videos and see like where I went wrong, or how can I improve this, or how can I have better sound or better coloring. And a lot of people don't know, it's like I am the one who like edits these films, these projects, and puts them together. Like there's people around the world who thinks I just walk in front of a camera, I say lines, and then I go home. It's like, no, I'm very hands-on to everything I create. And it's been like that since Vine, so naturally it just moved over to this. In the future, I mean, we're gonna see. Hopefully I can edit everything, but we're gonna see. But I feel like when it comes to like that pressure, it's mostly about finding like what inspires you, And for me, it's people like Naruto, it's people like Will Smith, it's people like Denzel Washington, it's people like The Rock, it's people like Jim Carrey, and the list goes on and on and on. Kevin Hart, the list goes on and on and on. Another thing I do is to see where I'm going, I often look back at my past. So, there's a lot of people who feel like, I don't know, I'm not really making the moves I want to make, or I'm not really progressing like how I want to progress, and I don't think I'm really like making it. Like maybe I should stop, I should quit. But one thing a lot of people don't do is a lot of people don't like look back at their past. Like on my Instagram right now, you can go on my page, and most of my old posts are all there. And a lot of my friends and a lot of people on social media, they delete all of their posts. They probably have like 6 posts because they want to, have this look. This is what it is. But for me, it's like, nah, I want people to know, like, this isn't where it started. It started back there. And you're going to see every single photo and every single mess up and failure that I had to do to succeed in a way, because that's truly important. And I feel like for me, to see where I'm going, I have to see where I started. So I kind of, every once in a while, I can get like that check that, you're doing your thing, remember what you were doing back here? Like, nah, we're not doing that no more. And like, you can literally compare your progress like that. So I think, that's kind of like how I keep the pressure at bay. Another thing I do is I listen to motivational speakers and stuff. The reason why specifically, like I was saying, there's good days, there's bad days. On my good days, most good days, I start off by listening to motivational speakers, most of the people I just named and more. It's very easy to think negatively about yourself. I feel like that's something humans are just gifted at for some reason. But when you have those bad days, I feel like by listening to motivational speakers, those are the ideas and the thoughts that are rotating in my mind instead of the negative ones. And yeah, that's kind of like this. It helps keep everything afloat, keeps everything moving. So yeah.
Thank you. LJ from the Lookout RNC. Appreciate you for giving us this time, bro. So live action movies are quite polarizing when it comes to audience response. What do you think has been the reason your films have been so well received in comparison to like a major studio or, you know, live actions have been tried in the past?
Because they usually suck. There's a large amount of people who think your work doesn't suck.
Yeah. Thank you. And so I think the biggest reason behind it is the approach that I have is from an approach of a supporter and a fan of the source. I feel like when I'm making these films and these projects, it is to make a love letter to these animes and to these IPs and stuff like that. So I don't know, I feel like, you know, studios, they see the hype of anime and they try to monetize off of that hype. But like, you know, I think if they focus on the content first, if they focus on making the good product first, the good love letter first, then, you know, the monetization, that should always be second. And I feel like what happens most days is that people are seeing that the monetization is being put first, and it leaves the content to kind of get, you know, thrown to like, it's like, it's whatever, like it kind of looks like it, right? You know, it feels like it maybe a little bit, no? And me, it's like, you know, like I said, like I'm a fan, like these are things that have inspired me. If I'm making like a video on like an anime thing or a Marvel thing or anything, it's because like something in that film inspired me to like, you know, I was like, I love the scene, it was personal, it touched me, I felt something. And yeah, so I feel like that's the angle I come from it. So yeah, I feel like creative slumps happen to everyone. I mean, I feel like everyone's advice about it is different. One of my main ones is definitely, so I passively write ideas all the time. Like whenever you have an idea, you shouldn't just hold it, you should just get it out. For me, it's very chaotic. It's either in my notes or it's in voice recordings. Sometimes I'm saying in a corner of the room, just talking to myself, and it's because I'm just saying the idea out loud, literally going down the shots, the angles, the ideas. Like I'll say the whole thing. That's like if it's too complex to sit here and like type, because like sometimes when I type I get too detailed and I'm all like make sure like that's a low angle hero shot and make sure you got the wide lens on it. And like I don't need to be telling myself that, but I also don't want to forget it because it's very important. So I feel like, you know, passively having your ideas out all the time is really good, because when you're in that creative slump, you have something to look back at and be like, okay, I'm hyped, let me go ahead and do this. This is something I've been having in the back burners. Besides that, it goes back to looking at your old stuff, you know, just realizing where you are right now compared to where you was, you know, and just know like you're on the right path because you can see the difference, you know. There's no one who's been like creating content for 5 consistent years or really working, right? And like there's no one who's gonna tell me like, oh, my videos look exactly the same from 5 years. Like there's no way, you know. You like, especially if you're watching people and like, you know, you're studying, like you're going to find ways to invest in yourself. And I feel like that's probably like why I'm as far as I am, is because like, you know, I could take a lot of like the money I get and, you know, buy the cars and the shoes and the chains and the girls. I could do all that, but instead I use like a lot of the money I receive to put back into the films that I want to create for people. It's like at the end of the day, just I'm doing what I love, you know. It's a blessing to do that all the time, you know. I think I was saying it not too long ago. It's like, you know, doing what you love is like it's like a dream, right? So it's like, you know, I'm literally living in this dream, and like, you know, to wake up and to be able to inspire and impact people who aren't even like here, like just someone across the world who's seen my videos, and I don't know what that did for them, you know, but it's like, it's a dream of mine to like do what I love, and it also helps other people. So like, as long as like I'm in this dream, I don't really want to wake up from it. Ultimate end goal. So for a very long time, the goal has been to be one of the greatest directors of my generation. And like, you know, that's just always been the goal. And for me, it's like setting a big goal that seems impossible now. So when you achieve it, it seems even, I don't know, it seems even more grand, you know? Like Naruto wanted to become a Hokage, Luffy wanted to be the Pirate King, you know? And yeah, so like that's always been the goal, you know, to become one of the greatest directors and to have films in theaters. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, to me, like that is the ultimate dream. I feel like I wanted to create a title for it, and it's a working title. Title is the Director King, and that's something that I want to make a reality. It's the first time I've ever said that out loud. So, you know, words are powerful, and one day I will become the Director King.
Documentary coming.
Soon, 2024, latest. Promise.
And the audio books.
You have to ask my manager. So, first off, I mean, let me start off with the creators. All of my friends, like, I feel like I'm gonna miss a lot of them, but just off the top of my mind, there's Caleb Say, there's Lenar, there's RDC, there's Wolf Graphic, there's I Am Dices, of course, there's Heartstop Lucas, there's the amazing Writer Boy.
There you go.
Man, I don't want to blank. There's Kara Please, there's Crystal, there's Becca, there's Taylor. I don't want to blank. There's Berlizzi, there's I Am Dante. Listen, anybody you see at DreamCon, you need to support them. Period. You know what I'm saying? Period. That's the lineup and more. But literally, like all those people I get to share that stage with, it's so inspiring because it's like, you know, these are people like I talk to all the time, you know, like every day, like type B, like, you know, we're just always seeing each other, supporting each other on social media and stuff like that. But we always get to come together. Well, since, you know, all the dark age stuff recently, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's been hard to, like, you know, connect and see each other and all that. But, you know, it's all love and things of that nature. But like every person I get to share that stage with, you know, they're all individually amazing at everything they do, and it's just inspiring to like be on the stage, a part of like what feels like the next generation of like, you know, creatives of color. And you know, we're just out here like making a difference. Like it used to just be the VidCons and all that, but now it's like here's the DreamCon, you know, and it's like it's very empowering, and I love being in that moment. And like every time I just feel like I'm just here with friends, but like we're at like a convention and we're talking to supporters, but then we go backstage and we're playing video games, and then we go on stage and we play video games. So, you know, it's just cool. And all those people are just, you know, very special. And I think they're all talented. And I think those are going to be the people who are going to be some of the biggest stars in this world one day. So be on the lookout for them. Yeah, premiering the first time at DreamCon was like, it was mind-blowing. Because the thing is, I've been there every single DreamCon. So the stage have been bigger, bigger, bigger. So like, you know, shout out to like RDC for like giving me that stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the boys right there. Like, it's really dope to like see that they know, like, you know, that I love filmmaking and like I love premiering. It was like an idea like I presented to them like at the first one, and now it's just like it's a thing. It's like, here's a King Vader premiere. I'm like, oh, it's that, you know. So like for me, I really appreciate that they give me that stage, and like going out there and like seeing so many people like here to like watch something I created is like something that I can never get used to. I feel like every stage I go on, I'm always gonna be a bit nervous. I have to go out there, like even here, like I was a bit nervous. I'm not gonna hold you. Like y'all stepped in, like I was like, oh, wow, what's going on? You know, the cameras start getting set up. But for me, like I always gotta break the ice by saying something crazy or something. And once everyone laughs, I'm like, all right, we home. We in the living room with it, you know. So you know, at the most recent one, I premiered Hood Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was crazy. Just seeing like the reactions to that. And next year I plan on premiering Hood Naruto the movie 2, which the teaser trailer is dropping here at Anime NYC, so you know, be on the lookout. And I plan to just go out and show out and, you know, go to the next level. We are going to be doing the Momoshiki fight, so be on the lookout.
There's a lot of skits that you've done that are anime based, and one skit that is based on a game that I recall is the one that you did with Genshin Impact. Yeah, we used Diluc and everything. That was really, really sick, by the way. But do you have any plans on working with games more than anime recently? Like, is there any dream game that you would want to make a skit or a movie based on that's, like, you know, something that you're a fan favorite of?
I love that question. So recently, I got to do an ad for Gotham Knights. And I tell you, I was so excited. And I killed that video. I'm not going to hold you. Like, I watch that video every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, you know? And it's like, I love, like, to be able to advertise something that, like, I, like, at home, like, play on the regular and stuff like that. Like, certain ads are like that, certain ads are not. But this one was like this, like, not only is this Gotham Knights, this is DC, this is Batman lore, like, this is Gotham City. Like, I'm like, let's go. So, yeah, I think video games is very much a part of, like things that I love and inspired by as far as, like, movies and video games and animes. So in the future, two video games I'm gonna name drop right now that I would love to do something for. That's Multiverses, because that's everything.
Yeah.
And then that's Elden Ring. Because listen, if I did an Elden Ring video, listen, Elden Ring is a game that it broke me down. And I had to rebuild myself. and I loved the process because, like, I'm like, I've never played a game that was, like, so humbling, you know? And I'm like, wow. Like, the you, like, you're dead or you died screen, that is, like, a part of, like me now because I've seen it so many times, you know? So, but in that process, I just learned to love the game. I learned to love that sport, and I would love to do something for both of those games. And yeah, I mean, games in general, I love video games, so yeah. Thank you for that. That was a good question.
Thank you.
So, it's the end of the world.
Okay.
Right? Actually, it's the end of the universe.
And then the universe, that's even bigger.
We need Vader to save us all. I know it's not just about anime, it's also about comic book characters too. So, pick your 3 comic book characters and your 3 anime characters.
That can save the world?
That can save the world.
I could choose one and it'll be over.
Who
I
is
would
that
just
one?
say Dr. Manhattan and then, like, the world is saved, you know?
That's
So,
true.
like, where do I go from there? Like, Dr. Manhattan, throw Ben 10 in there for some reason, throw Naruto. Like, any other character can just relax, you know? Like, chill out, bro. Like, Naruto, you know, let's throw Ichigo, let's throw Luffy in there. But I'm throwing the big 3 in there just so they can chill out while Dr. Manhattan,
Do you
Alien
think
X.
do you think Naruto will let Dr. Manhattan just, like...
But the thing is, Naruto wouldn't really have a choice, you know? Like, Dr. Manhattan is like, it's fixed, and it's fixed. And I don't know why his character's like that, but it just is. So, you know, I don't know.
Nah, you just broke the cheat code. That is the answer.
He is the cheat code, you know? I don't know why he's made like that, but he just is. And same with Alien X. Jesus Christ. But yeah.
All right. Saved. Bro,
Universe saved. You know what I'm saying? So if it's up to me and my choices, I got you. Yeah. I got
Appreciate
you. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.